The governor's just right behind me taking some pictures with supporters. This is one of his stops on his bus tour. His big push has really been early voting. Klein says she isn't sure what her next project is, but she's certain it'll be giving back to her small town. All along the ground outside of Downing Student Union is chalk. A lot of it says Andy Beshear with an X over it. There's some other messages if you come this way that says vote Daniel Cameron. And Andy Beshear was actually just in those walls behind us talking with students. He just left a few minutes ago. A Cave City official has been accused of drunk driving a city vehicle, but what residents say worries them even more is that the mayor has taken no action. The old courthouse is where voters are able to drop off their absentee ballots. Now, this was a very different story than just 4 years ago. Tuesday, Governor Beshear secured re-election, defeating Daniel Cameron by a comfortable 5%. But back in 2019, it was an extremely tight race. And we have all sorts of special guests for you, including WKU University President Tim Caboni. And I'm going to be asking him the hard-hitting questions. Like, what's the deal with the bow ties? A few weeks back, Jordan Davis put on a show just right behind us. Last year, obviously, we had DJ Diesel. Can't forget about that. When I was thinking about those two performances, I noticed a common denominator. How about this stellar ball movement? Jack Edlin flips it off to Christian Lander. He dishes it to Brandon Newman, who drives around a couple defenders for the buckets. Like they're passing around hot potatoes out there, folks. Hour and a half away from kickoff, so let's talk about some of our keys to the game. So first, I think the key to the game for the Tops is going to be that Austin Breed has to perform. He's the top in the conference in completions per game, passing touchdowns, total offense. And if he can continue to perform at that level, we're going to have the edge on the Aggies. Thanks, Cole. The men's basketball team has seen more success this season than our women's team, mainly due to one team completely dominating Conference USA. Corinna, obviously we're talking about MTSU. And we caught up with the only undefeated team on campus, learned their secret to success. Team streak's gonna end. I've got Bowling Green. I think this is the time of the year where coaching becomes the most important, and I think they've got a super strong coach in Calvin Hebb. We're gonna give you a closer look to him in just a few minutes. Now, this would be a crazy upset. Sam Houston's the #1 seed on the men's side versus FIU. Are we gonna keep the upsets going or go with the favorite? Sam Houston. All right. Welcome back to the Extra Point. Thanks for staying with us. We're now joined by President Timothy Caboni. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me. I'm sorry we're inside and not outside, but a great opportunity to do another show for the spring sports. So excited to be here.
Wish you were able to control the weather around campus too. Is that in your presidential powers?
I can do a lot of things, but weather's not one of them.
Well,
you got to call White Squirrel Weather to do that.
All right, well, I'll have to talk to them after this. And it's simple math here. They average 75 points per game and only allow 51 points per game. That's an incredibly tough margin to overcome. Welcome to News Channel 12, live at 1. I'm Addie Schanie. While the gubernatorial race takes the spotlight on Kentucky ballots, voters will also be deciding on 5 other races. A new precinct map was approved for Warren County last week. Residents' polling locations will stay the same from last election cycle. That new map was approved for the 2024 election cycle. The man that they still have not made any contact with or been able to locate is Alvin Nees. Officials say it is still considered a rescue mission at this point. The next phase is bringing in heavy equipment to remove debris. We'll keep you updated as more information is released out of Martin County. So excited to hear you said it's going to warm up this weekend. I'm traveling to Tennessee to go to Dollywood. I've never been. I'm so excited. To understand the 150th anniversary, let's travel back to May 17th, 1875, the day of the very first Kentucky Derby. The Derby is arguably the most important event of the year in Kentucky. News Channel 12 reporter Gage Shear tells us how much of an economic impact the Run for the Roses has on the Bluegrass State. And I think I like the odds on Encino. You know, if he does finish, you're going to get a huge payout. Who are you going to be putting your money on? But here's where they're mixing it up on us. Doing the classic Riders Up call is Martha Stewart. Seems a little bizarre, right? Platers acknowledge this may seem like an odd choice, but Stewart actually is the one who curated the at-home Derby menu this year. This menu is for folks at home to cook up some Derby-inspired creations. So obviously she's talking about Travis Kelce and his girlfriend Taylor Swift. Now, when my best friend heard this information, she wasn't going to be going to the Derby at all. She had all these other plans. She dropped everything to buy a ticket just to be in the same vicinity. And if that doesn't show you the power Taylor Swift has, I mean, it's been proved time and time again. So the Taylor Swift effect, I guess, is coming to Louisville, which is pretty exciting. I'm going to the infield. I'm sure she's going to stay as far as she possibly can away from there. She'll be up in like the Millionaires Row area. So if I see her, it'll be on Twitter.
There you go, there you go.
The guests are stepping it up for the 150th anniversary. This year you can expect to see pops of pink, red, and floral patterns. Fascinator came in the mail a couple days ago. The hat girls would be so disappointed in me, but I ordered it on Amazon. Came quick, it was like $10, so you really can do derby on a budget too. You know, it's a wide range. A lot of people, you know, drop, I don't even know, amounts of money on their fascinators to get something custom and really cool, but you can also do it on a college budget. I'm going to be at the mini marathon I guess I'm leaving today to go, so my boyfriend's run it the past couple years. It's always super fun to watch and just see how many people come out. You really have people of all different walks of life, you know, really young people, older people, and it's just a really cool event for the community to kind of come together.
You gonna run with
exciting.
him?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's something I will never do. I love watching all the people that do it, and it's fun to be there as a spectator, but I'm like, oh my God, I could never.
Yeah.
Generative AI is revolutionizing academic integrity, sparking debates, and reshaping standards. Did that sound a little unnatural to you? Well, it might be because I didn't write it. Generative AI did, and it's the same method that a lot of college students are using on their assignments. If you look at a college student's browser tabs, chances are you'll find ChatGPT open.
ChatGPT help with papers.
I would use it for brainstorming ideas.
Once a sci-fi dream, now a campus reality. A robot that does your homework. Grappling with this new technology, some professors want a lesson themselves.
How is it going to affect the way I teach my classes?
Professor McCarroll's been teaching journalism since the 80s. With no campus-wide AI policy at WKU, the responsibility falls on individual professors.
You can't use it to generate work for the class. It's no different than if they give that assignment to their roommate.
On the other end of the spectrum is political science professor Kelsey Truxell.
Students are completely free to use any sort of AI.
They could give the essay prompt, copy and paste it, and get a good score.
Definitely not.
To ensure it's not used as an essay writing service, her exams have lecture-specific questions. Questions she uses,
provide a hypothetical scenario where a client,
you guessed it, AI to help craft.
3 to 4 hours a week. It has saved me.
Since ChatGPT's 2022 launch, the university's only received 3 reports of students cheating using AI. All were let off on a warning.
At least at this point, I think they can do better than AI.
As academia adapts to the AI revolution, it's clear innovation enhances education, but human ingenuity remains irreplaceable. And yep, ChatGPT wrote my outro too. For News Channel 12, I'm Addie Schanie. There's now dirt where mobile homes used to stand after the city rezoned a plot of land that a lot of mobile homes are on. But here's the catch. A lot of the mobile homes in this park are too old to legally be moved, meaning owners have to forfeit their property. Driving around Kentucky Gardens Mobile Home Park, you'll see a lively community full of children playing.
This is my kids' home.
Kayla Castillo, Colorado's family has lived here for 20 years. 2 of her children have autism and 1 has severe seizures.
It's hard for me to see your kids suffer like that. And when they're telling you that you're gonna be kicking out from your home, they put a lot of stress.
Now the Colorados and 30 other families have to unexpectedly pack up their lives. Last July, residents received a notice in the mail saying the land they rent was rezoned for digs on the river. The 23-acre development features apartment buildings, restaurants, and shops.
For them, it's just simple trailers. But for us, it's our home.
But most mobile homes here are too old to legally and safely be moved, meaning owners have to destroy the homes they own for nothing in return.
We're getting no compensation whatsoever from the landowners because they have no legal obligation to give us compensation.
The median home price in Bowling Green is $330,000. That's according to Realtor.com. And that's a price here residents cannot afford.
My kids have nightmares. They have nightmares. Just thinking, oh my God, Mommy, they're going to kick us out.
Neighbors are rallying together to fundraise before their families face homelessness.
I feel sad. I feel like crying a lot.
I reached out to the landowners on multiple occasions, but they haven't responded to my request for comment. For News Channel 12, I'm Schanie.